policeman.
That's funny. Yeah, we take Coco like every 6 to 8 weeks to get groomed at Petco in Media. And of course, right by this grooming station, there's always the big cage with all the little kittens in there. They're so cute. I always want to bring one home, but I don't think I'm ready yet. Not yet.
Here's Reverend Bill with your God Call.
I'd like you to consider opening an interest-bearing account, not at the bank or the credit card company, but in your own consciousness. There's probably a group or a philosophy or a political party or an ideology or a religion that you just don't have any interest in whatsoever. Those people are not talking about anything that has anything to do with you. Well, just as an exercise, open yourself up to the possibility that those are wonderful expressions of God's love with a different opinion than yours. Show some interest, not that you have to change your mind, but just to see what's going on for them and how you can let more love and light into your life and into theirs.
That's you, Bernard.
Morning. Took a walk today off in the woods by the creek where I used to play, and the water flowed mixed with the sound of my boots on the crusty snow. Heard my mom's dinner bell across the years ringing. Smell of wood smoke sharp and clear in the tangy winter evening. Children's voices from across the creek calling, fading last one home. A sister's voice high and clear calling out in the winter air, "We're coming, Mom." Coming, who's the last one home? Coming, Mom, we're coming. Who's the last one home? So I walked on slow, on past the fields to a place where I used to go. Then the memory came, a walk with my brother Jim in a driving rain. Jim loved hurricanes of every kind. That day her name was Agnes. She stalled off the coast of the Carolinas. He thought that she'd make landfall south of Delaware. Wind and the bell and the rain mixed to make a music all its own. My brother turned running backwards and said, "Hey B, who's gonna be the last one home?" We're coming, we're coming, coming, Mom, who's the last one home? The last one home, the last one home.
Beautiful.
thank you so much, Bernard. And lovely choice in the color of your shirt today. Good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. We are here on Zoom. It's mid to late August of 2022. How'd that happen? You guys know what the drill is for Zoom, so we're going to leave our mics muted except when we're sharing, and we're going to gently and lovingly encourage each other to unmute at the appropriate moments. So let's go ahead and all unmute now so that we can raise a joyful cacophony unto the Lord. Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to prosperity.
I open myself to prosperity.
I know I'm surrounded by good right now.
I know that I'm
surrounded by good right
now.
And I accept the love.
And I accept the love.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right. Test your mute button one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you. And welcome home. There's a very low bar of what you need to believe in order to participate in New Thought Philadelphia. In fact, you don't need to. It just makes it a little more convenient if you agree to the basic stuff, just so we have something in common to talk about. We believe that there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. There is a little bit of nuance in that that we get to talk about at other times. The way that we like to talk about it, we say your new life begins with a new thought. So if you have a cell phone or other electronic device that has the possibility that it might disturb you anytime in the next hour, go ahead and turn that on, shush. Or now you can set it for do not disturb. Tell it that you're driving so that you can get back to those things later. And we can turn our attention towards each other. Bill Marchiony. Our music today is by Bernard Sarkissian, who is zooming in from Massachusetts. And our practitioner for the celebration is Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, who is zooming in from East Falls. And we begin our celebration the way we begin everything, with a practical prayer. Joe?
Good morning, everyone. Take a breath. Find that inner space where you connect with your essence, your truth of who you are, that divine spark. And know that there's one presence, one infinite power in the universe. It is love, intelligence, life. It's the creative force and the source of all life, all form. It creates each and every one of us and everything around us with its own substance, its own spirit, its own power and intelligence. So that we're all unique, we're all different individual expressions, but we share that connection of a common source. We share that connection of sharing that intelligence and that power to create our own lives. So we come together today in celebration of all of this to use that divine intelligence and that power to create something new and something wonderful and something filled with love and connection. So I know that all of that goodness, that joy, that prosperity, that love, connection, openness, fun, beauty, peace is here right now. We create it with ourselves, the music, the words, everything we share today. So I'm grateful for all of this. I'm grateful for each one here. I'm grateful for all the good that we are immersed in. I allow it, I accept it, and I claim it now. And so my word goes out, at least to the law that always says yes, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Joe. So prayer is more than just a fluffy little something that we say to make ourselves feel good. It actually is a causative entity. It changes experience. So we like to allow a few minutes for somebody who's got a prayer that's been happening in your life that's showing up to share your prayer work story. Breen seems to already be waving his hand. So let's hear from Breen first.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So some of you guys know we have Jack, our rescue dog, who can be excitable and reactive. And I've been praying about it. We've been working with him. Last weekend, Jane was in Florida, and I got an invite from my sister to come down to Maryland for a sibling dinner. I've got 4 siblings, and she wanted to get everybody together. And naturally, I always said, well, what's going on? Is there an announcement? But there was no announcement. She just wanted to have dinner with her siblings. So I didn't want to try to find someone to take care of the dogs, and didn't want to have to come back early. It's 2 hours away or so. So I took Jack and Coco with me, and I said a very specific audible prayer for Jack around peace and harmony and God expressing. And he went to a house he's never been to, met like 8 people he's never met before, and he was wonderful. A little bit of barking at the men when they came in, not at the women, but he calmed down when people gave him treats. I sent Jane a picture of him just laying on my sister's kitchen floor while all the people were around him. So it was just an awesome experience, better than I could have imagined.
Beautiful. Thank you, Breen. And Dina's got her hand up as well.
Just wanted to, excuse me, give a little shout out to the Unexpected Income Club, which I frequently will join when it's happening. And it is pretty amazing how that happens. I have gotten like 6 classes, unexpected subclasses, and it's really great. I mean, so I just I think it's a great thing for people to do, and I'm frequently praying for money, so it's always great when it shows up, and it has been. So thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dina. Love when that happens. Anybody else a prayer work story to share? Was that your hand up, Jennifer? Or are you just saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying, go, Dina, go.
Okay, so it's your thumb up, not your hand up. Okay, perfect. Well, now that Dina's drinking a cup of coffee, I'm going to reintroduce her to share the announcements.
There we go. Well, good morning. This energizing information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. Twice a day, we have a community check-in and meditation on Zoom. Everyone is welcome. They're inspiring, fun, quick, sometimes quite hilarious, less than 15 minutes start to finish, and people generally have a great time. Episode 63 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer podcast is Treatment. It's on Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher, and you can watch the live stream of the recording session on Monday at 1 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Follow our social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and join the 1,092 members, that's great, of spiritual adventurers in our group on Meetup. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30. And the Women's Circle meets on Zoom on the 3rd Thursday every month at 7 p.m. Contact Sandy for information on either of these things. There's just a month left for the Summer Unexpected Income Club. It's open to all. You just sign up online, you say the daily prayer, and when extra funds flow in your way, share the story and donate 10% to New Thought Philly. And I have like a little sticky thing in the kitchen where I write all my unexpected income, so I keep track of it, which is great. We are grateful for your tax-deductible donations by PayPal, check, Venmo, Cash App, or Zelle. Thank you to the team that makes our Zoom celebrations work. And we do have so much fun. I know we say that every week, but it's kind of hilarious. So you might like to come because nothing better than being in that good community with people. Sandy is now taken over coordinating the team. So once again, please contact Sandy. Next Sunday is online with Spiritual Coin. Reverend Bill explores the notion that the infinite creative law will create anything for us, and the price we pay is in mental and spiritual coin. Live original music by someone new, Sonic Yogi. Hope that's going to be awesome. The practitioner interns are doing full sessions at no charge to complete their training. After the celebration, Joe will be available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom room open, meeting for people to talk amongst themselves. Thanks.
Thank you, Dina. And if getting into the Unexpected Income Club seems like that's something that would be distant, I'm going to just run with this because it is wonderful. Here's the daily practical prayer that you actually commit to. I recognize and acknowledge the abundant nature of the universe. It is the limitless creative source of good, eternally sharing its energy and substance. I'm aware of my divine nature, part of this one creation, and that I'm completely connected with the infinite supply of good. I open myself to the full support of this goodness. I know that I am joyously receiving abundant income from unexpected sources to use and share for the fulfillment of all my desires, and so is every member of the Unexpected Income Club. With gratitude for the divine flow of prosperity in my life, I release this prayer to the law, knowing that the creative law responds with a resounding yes. And so it is. And so you've probably heard somewhere along the line of where two or more are gathered, there is great power. Well, we're saying these prayers for ourselves and for each other. And the multiplier effect that that has is just tremendous. On the page on the website about the Unexpected Income Club, it's got the frequently asked questions like, how do you know if it's unexpected income? It's because you weren't expecting it. I mean, it's pretty simple. How do I donate the 10%? It's like you move the decimal point over one and send it in by PayPal or Zelle or whatever it happens to be. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And you've got a month left. It's going to go through the end of the summer. I think it ends on the equinox. And that's plenty of time for like huge gobs of money to show up in your life. All right, done talking about that. We love when new people are joining in with us. And if there's anybody who's here for the first time, go ahead and raise your hand. Basically, you can give a wave or you can do the electronic one. I see some iPhones that I may or may not have seen before. Some other folks who I definitely do know. There's Jesus with a dog and a car, that's a Jesus kind of thing. So if anybody is willing to accept that welcome for your first time, for your first visit, then go ahead and accept this. And everybody else, accept this for yourself as well. We're all going to rub our hands together so we can feel a little warmth. Not that that's going to be particularly difficult to do today, but feel the warmth. Let that be the love, and then share it. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you for shining that light and sharing your love with us today. And welcome home. So when we're in person, which is going to be happening again before too long, this is the song where we go around and greet each other, whether it's hugs or handshakes or elbow bumps or namaste hands from a distance. For now, what I encourage you to do is go ahead and set your screen to gallery view or flip through on your phone so that you can make eye contact with the people we're in community with and know that the eyes that you're looking into and the eyes that you're looking with are the eyes of the infinite. We'll do that as Bernard sings another song for us. B? You need to unmute, Bernard. There we go.
Dream of the sun, my friend, when clouds have covered him. Dream Won't you dream on a rainy afternoon? Dream, shining summer dawn. Try and see the way, my friend, while I watch the violet sky turn to blue, turn blue. Lift your head, my friend, hear the summer wind calling, calling to you, calling to me, inviting all of us to be all along heaven's shore in ecstasy. Try to see reality. Let us dream of the mystery, bathed in history. Let us dream and watch a solid raining gray turn to blue, blue, oh blue.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bernard. Yeah.
Welcome.
We're going to light the flames of faith, and the leader for that is going to be joining us from the lakes, the shores of Lake Michigan, up in Milwaukee. Carolyn Nixon.
You perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all peoples and all faiths come from the one power love intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. The reading today is from 365 Tao Daily Meditations by Deng Ming Dao, and it's going to be read for us by Sandy.
Can you see a sound? Can you hear light? Can you unite with senses? Can you turn inward? What we're all seeking is clarity. Forget about religious rationalizations. Forget about elaborate explanations. What we all want is clarity. What we abhor is ignorance. Ignorance confuses us, brings us misfortune and sorrow, and makes us miserable. If we have clarity, then we can live with equanimity. It's a misconception that spirituality brings everlasting happiness. There is no such thing. Sadness still comes to the wise, but unlike most people, their clarity of mind allows them to see beyond the temporal emotionalism of the moment. They're far-seeing, and so happiness and sorrow become the same to them. True clarity is more than just being smart, more than just being wise. Clarity manifests from meditation. It comes when you can unite all the faculties of the mind and unify them into a magnificent light of perception. It's hard to talk of this in anything but mystical terms. Our language is unfamiliar with the frontiers of the spirit because few have ever seen those limits, let alone describe them. But let's try. If you unite sound with vision, then you'll create light. That light is the concentrated force of the mind. It is by that brightness the truth is revealed.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sandy. Bernard? And you're muted.
Mute, Bernard. So what a joy to be among you. There are lines in books that tell stories, and the words, the lines hold the truth. But I've read a book without pages, lines and the truth etched on the faces of my brothers, sister, my mother, lines around my father's eyes speak of his strength and living, all of the struggle, all in a giving. On the face of my brother Victor are lines that are all Vietnam, flying through guns to the thwack of a rotor as he pilots his Huey to bring back his brothers on the face of my brother Kevin, are the lines from his laughter and smiles, kidding me all through the years, trying to play down the brave man he is. On the face of my brother Jim, the lines from the games he would call monsters on late summer nights. Jim chasing us, thrilling us with all of his might. Now on the face of my sister Mary, the lines from the songs we would sing. Ah, for Emily, where I may find her, sweet Mary Jo. There was nobody kinder. Yes, there are lines in books that tell stories. The words of lines hold the truth. But I've read a book without pages, lines and the truth, they're etched on the faces.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bernard.
Yes.
Thank you. Going to talk today about the word Thermonoff. And the title of the talk is Perfectly Clear. And there's a couple of different areas where perfect clarity comes in. So if you're not familiar with the word Thermonoff, then you would understand that the way that you're going to understand the meaning of that word would be easy. So somebody gives you a definition. Somebody defines the word for you, which is an explanation of what that word means using other words. And sometimes our definition is going to be from a synonym, another word that means the same thing as that word. So what is another word that we can use for Thermonoff? And by getting that, we get to zero in on our understanding, on clarity about the meaning of that particular word. Sometimes it's the antonym. If I tell you what Thermonoff is not, then you can understand, okay, if it's not that, then there's the whole pivot thing that's in there. Maybe that's what it is. And get an understanding from that. Or we can understand it in context. And these are the ways that we have learned the meanings of all of the words that we are using in our vocabulary. And by the way, the meanings of words change from time to time. In fact, the word literal used to mean literal. And now it doesn't mean literal anymore. And in fact, the dictionary because people have used literal. This is literally the best thing ever. It's like, I've literally done this a million times. No, it's hypothetically or hyperbolically. I've done that. It's no longer the meaning of the word anymore. So the context changes, the meaning changes. In fact, the synonyms can change as we are gaining an understanding. And the process that we have gone through all of our lives is to kind of triangulate in and zero in on the meanings of words and the understanding of what it is that we're saying. We're talking about perfectly clear. What we really want to do is make sure that the idea that I have in my mind is expressed in such a way that the idea that shows up in your mind matches. One of the things that I've mentioned, I think, a few times is that Jerry Troyer, the president of the affiliated New Thought Network, where I'm the vice president, when he took the role, his claim was, we are going to say what we mean and mean what we say. And that's because there are so many times, especially when people who spend a lot of time thinking about the same things together get together, we say something, we know what we mean, but the words that we're using would not be describing that to somebody on the outside in a way that they would necessarily understand it. And sometimes we have to dial ourselves back to basics and to be much more fundamental, because we need to actually say what it is that we mean rather than anticipate that somebody else is going to understand. And that's the first part of perfectly clear, is making sure that what we're saying is going to resonate with the person who we're talking about or talking to. Oh, in the mid 90s, I spent 88 or 89 glorious days working for a company in Fort Lauderdale called Graphtech. This was a prepress company. And if you're not familiar with prepress companies, it's because they're a dinosaur. Desktop publishing came along and completely replaced the need for prepress companies. My job at Graphtech was to run the desktop side of the business and to take over from the really expensive stuff. It turns out now that the stuff that we were charging $190 an hour for, you can do on an iPhone. So it's not surprising that the industry and that company in specific have gone away. But it was a whole building full of people, and then they had them wearing white lab coats to make it seem like it was really ponderous and official. And they were using Cytek's digital retouch equipment. And the job was basically to take a print production project from an ad agency or from a catalog company or from a direct marketer and take the setup and turn it into films that could be used to make printing plates. And like I said, I was there for 88 days. They got rid of me just before I would have gone on the benefits program. That's a different story. We'll talk about it some other time, or maybe not. And during the time that I was there, probably 6 or 8 weeks in, I walked into the production manager's office on a Wednesday afternoon and I said, "Hey, Tony, do you think it'd be a good idea to see who on the staff is going to be available for the emergency job that's coming in on Friday afternoon?" And you could have sworn that Tony, he would have dropped his cup of coffee, like, what emergency job is coming in on Friday afternoon? Oh my God, what do you know? And he's like all in a twist. And I said, "Tony, every Friday afternoon, there's an emergency job that comes in from somebody. I don't know who's coming in, but the chances of us not having an emergency job this Friday afternoon are scant. So maybe instead of running around the shop at 2:30 on Friday to see who can come stay late on Friday or come in on Saturday, maybe we do that now." He was very angry with me because that's not the way they do things. They're not going to anticipate that they're going to have that, even though that was their business model. And oh, P.S., that they made a lot of money on rush charges for people working over the weekend. And the description of what was going on at the pre-press shop and the actual experience of what was going on at the pre-press shop, and they were different. We were not doing what we said and saying what we meant. They were pretending like there wasn't going to be an emergency, even though that was a big part of the business. So back to the idea of Thermonoff. That actually was inspired by a book that I read when I was a kid, and it's called Tunnel in the Sky. It's a Robert Heinlein novel. It was written in 1955. And very briefly, the story is this was a wilderness survival course for high school students. And there was technology that let people open up a tunnel to the sky and go to distant planets and distant galaxies and stuff. And that was how they were colonizing these distant places. So what they would do is they would have a wagon train and they would move the colonists out through this tunnel. And the survival course was about the high school kids going through and spending 2 or 3 days, learning how to do this and getting some experience at it. And they come back home and everything is fine. And right before the protagonist in the story goes through the tunnel, his mentor, instructor, whatever, says, "Oh, watch out for Stober." And then, off they are into a distant galaxy. Now, of course, the whole story is about what happens when the technology doesn't work and the kids can't come back. And it's the whole Lord of the Flies thing. It doesn't make any difference. And I'm going to spoil part of the end of the story now, but it's been around since 1955. So if you're still waiting for something, and I'm going to spoil this, just let's be clear about that. They go and they have the experience, and there are different animals and different creatures and different experiences they're having. And there's a disagreement among the students, the surviving students, about which one is a Stober, because they thought this one was the most dangerous, but it turns out that the little thing turned out to be insidious and could be much more dangerous. And when they get back, they say to the instructors, who were very fortunate to have gotten their class back 2 or 3 years later, whatever it is, they said, "So what was the Stober?" And the instructors say, "Oh, we don't know. We don't have any idea on that planet what the stowaway was, but there's always a stowaway. There's always something that seems innocuous, that's dangerous, that you need to watch out for. So we just plant that idea with you so that you're a little extra cautious. Interesting. Interesting. The word didn't have any meaning until the people who were watching for whatever they were thinking that meaning might apply to show up. And so the meaning of the words becomes a little bit more fluid. So now what we're looking for is clarity coming in from a different direction, not the clarity of what am I saying that's going to mean something, because the instructors, the mentors in that story didn't know what the word meant. But they were planting an idea with their students and wanted the students to come to an understanding for themselves about what their situation was. And that happens to us all the time when we're considering some new possibility, when we get some input from somebody. What did she mean? What did he mean? This thing happened or is unfolding in my life now. What does it mean? Because it can mean what it seems to mean at the first blush, and it can invite us to dig in a little deeper and say, well, what's really going on here? And part of the understanding that we have spiritually is that all of the experiences, especially the new experiences that we're having, are coming in through our lens of experience. So we are always seeing things from the perspective of the way things have come at us or unfolded for us in the past. And it is completely possible that this new experience means exactly the same thing that those other experiences meant previously. And it's completely possible that it means something completely different. And by making an assumption that it's the same as it used to be, I'm going to force it into that little lane, and it's going to mean what I say it means rather than what it actually could be. This is an infinitely creative universe. It creates everything and can create anything. And it is possible that this new experience that looks exactly like a previous experience is in fact different. And that's where the invitation for clarity comes in. We can go through a process where we let loose our attachment to stuff the way it seems, to stuff the way it's been previously, and open up to a new possibility. And that's the wonderful thing about a meditation and about surrender, is we can get quiet, we can go within, we can be in communion with ourselves, with that divine presence that is within, and ask those questions. Who am I? Who am I? Where am I? What is my next perfect step? What could this new experience mean? Or what could this seemingly repeating experience that I thought I was having from before, what could that mean? There's all sorts of possibilities that are open to us. And when we let go of our attachment to thinking that we know what it is, it opens up that world of possibilities for us to find out, maybe it means the same thing again. Maybe this is that same thing coming around one more time, or maybe there's some nuance to it that I've never considered, that's never been available to me before. And I can take this to a new level. I can take this to a deeper level of understanding. I can open myself up to something that's brand new. And it works in all sorts of different areas. It works especially in relationships, especially in new relationships where we're engaging with somebody new and we don't know what the meaning that they have in their words is going to be. So there's usually a lot of conversation. So we're getting definitions and synonyms and antonyms and context to understand and kind of help us zero in on what they mean by either that word or that phrase or that experience that they've had previously. Something that's been illuminating for me in the last year of doing the Practical Prayer podcast is not understanding my spiritual practice necessarily, but understanding how different it is from a lot of other people's spiritual practice. Because it's really easy to make an assumption that everybody's doing things the same way that I'm doing, or that everybody could. And there, it turns out, are huge barriers to a lot of people's thinking about understanding what it is that we're up to. So instead of fighting against that or saying, oh, that's no good, it's my opportunity to say, what does that really mean? Who am I in all of this? And how do I express myself? What language, what words, what descriptions do I use to help the person who I'm talking to understand what it is that I mean? How do I get myself to be perfectly clear? And how do I invite in that perfect clarity about what's going on in the world around me to be able to take the next step forward in a way that's going to be meaningful? And I don't know how it's going to happen for you. I don't even necessarily know how it's going to happen for me. It's different for all of us. That unfolding is different for all of us. The word Thermonov was made up this morning by me, and I Googled it, and it doesn't mean anything. So that either means that Thermonov doesn't mean anything, or when you heard therm and you thought maybe it's something having to do with heat or warmth because it's thermal, and off sounded technical or scientific, so it's an instrument of some variety. Maybe you're right. It hasn't been invented yet. Doesn't mean anything yet. But that doesn't mean that it's a gibberish word. That means that it's potential. And when we come to clarity about what it means for us, then we can decide whether or not it's something we want to be engaged in or participate with or not. Then we get to engage with whatever that concept is in a way that's going to bring more of what we experience as good into our lives, either by moving toward it or by moving away from it. So the predefined meanings of the words are not nearly as important as our understanding of what they mean to us and what they mean to the people who we're communicating with, so that we can come to clarity and understanding. So we can use that word or a different word or a different experience or a different context to come into more perfect clarity. So that's the invitation for this week, is what is mine to let go of? What are those assumptions that I have about the meaning of the events or the activities, the words that are in my world? And what new thing is possible? What is that newness that I can open up to and allow that guidance and that clarity about what's my next perfect step to happen? And then take it. And take it. And allow the good and the love and the harmony and the prosperity and the health and the vitality and the creativity and all that good to flow into your life in whatever way is uplifting and wonderful to you. Because you deserve it. You are that bright light of God's love right here, right now, and always. And so it is. Bernard?
Here I am unmuted and I'm visible. All right, so we're gonna do a mom song, I think. Hey mom, can you tell us that story one more time? Hey mom, tell us one more nursery rhyme. She tells us that one we love, winking, blinking, and nod. They sail off through a sea of stars to the very eyes of God. Hey mom, hey mom, can you help me tie the laces of my kids? Remember them? Hey mom, help me wax the runners of my sled. Flexible flyers, high top cons and kids. Sound of my mother's voice when I'm lying awake in bed after she turned out the lights. Hear her whisper goodnight. May God keep you safe till the morning light. Hey mom, can you help me stop this aching in my bones? Hey mom, tell me why I'm hot and then I'm so damn cold. Mom shakes her head, says, child, you've got a hard lesson to learn. If you dance with the devil, boy, likely you'll be burned. So learn this lesson well. And I pray that God heals you. It was so long, many years later, I said, hey Mom, shall I read this birthday card I got for you? Hey Mom, you ever think that you'd be 92? Mom shakes her head and says, child, hard lessons to learn. It's likely you will be burned. One more thing, Mom. I love you. Hey, Mom. Thanks, Joe.
Oh, thank you, Bernard. That was great. And thank you, Reverend Bill, because that was another little gift from the universe that I've gotten this week. So I've had several. They're like little breadcrumbs showing me which way to go. We're going to do some meditation. Use that meditation to, as the reading said, go to that frontier of the spirit to find the light, to find the clarity, invite the clarity. So that we can, what I got was, don't judge the future from the past. Use the experience that we have and that clarity to find something new. So get comfortable in your chair. If you're comfortable, sit up straight, get your feet flat on the floor. Feel yourself connected. Feel yourself connected to the earth beneath you. And to the sky above you. Kind of stretch your head up, your neck up. And feel yourself as that point between the infinite sky and the solid earth. We'll start by taking a few slow, deep breaths. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. And release. Make a little room in there. Feel the space. Just a little new space. One more deep breath. Hold it. And release. See if there's a little more wiggle room in there. One more breath. Take it in, hold it at the top. And again, release. And go to that frontier. Surrender and open. Who am I? Where am I? What does all this mean? And then take that conscious step to release attachments and allow yourself to think about what could possibly happen, be new, and open to that clarity. Just take that into the silence. Breathe at your own pace. Infinite possibilities await us. Steer a course.
Something new and wonderful is coming into being right now, as each of us. That infinite creative power, that divine presence that shares itself as all of its creation, is infinite potential. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. So each of us, individualizations of that divine power and presence, are poised for our next step forward. We're each stepping into that newness with guidance and awareness of who and what we are, of what we desire, of what our intentions are. And each of us, to the greatest degree possible, is understanding with great clarity that next desire that we have, the willingness to let go of whatever is not like that and step into the newness. And that one law that had always said yes, that has created everything by responding to conscious intent, already responding to each of us. The good that we're seeking is seeking us. The clarity on that next perfect step to take is made clear. And the enthusiasm for taking that next step is ours. And this is how good is unfolding for each of us on our own, for all of us in community. This is how love unfolds and reveals itself more fully and joyously and richly in the world. And I'm grateful for all of the wonderful ways that it's showing up. I'm grateful for the clarity of intention and the clarity of guidance. I'm grateful for the good unfolding. And I'm grateful to be able to speak this word and release it, that creative law, the one that always says yes, and to know without any question, doubt, or hesitation that it is already saying yes. This goodness is already at hand, already unfolding. And so with a deep feeling of thanks, I speak this word and I release it into that creative law. and know without any question whatsoever that it's already saying yes, this good is already underway. And so I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Take another deep, full breath. Feel yourself be filled again. Let it go. And bring your awareness back into your body. Maybe wiggle around a little bit, shrug your shoulders. Test smile. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes as Bernard sings another song for us.
So are we all singing this one? Or is this just a meditative piece?
This one's the meditative piece. We'll all sing the next one.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to, I don't know, that's the beauty of singing with you people, is that I never know what I'm going to do. So I will.
God knows what you're going to sing, Bernard.
Yes. How about walk a while with me? Walk a while with me, because until I found you folks, and a lot of times I felt alone on this earth. And then I found this community, and it became just stunning and beautiful to me. So walk a while with me, if you know it. Sometimes I feel like I am a stranger. I'm walking across the world through time. I turn around, I see that there's another stranger walking by my side, and you're searching for something you're not sure of. A friend says, can you help me find some peace? And I say, I don't know, Bill, I'm looking too. If you'd like, come and walk with me. Walk a while with me. Joe, somewhere down the road, you just might see, between silence and words, songs of the birds. Just may find that very peace we seek within our hearts. Everybody go. So Carolyn and I, we walked on together. She spoke to me of fears and needs. Green talked to me of his battles with the demons, trying to feed those endless flames of greed, searching for something you're not sure of. Jane says, can you help me find some peace? And I say, first lay down that bottle and that needle. Come and walk the road with me. You've got to walk a while with me. Somewhere down the road, you know, you just might see, between silence and words, songs of the birds. Just may find that very peace we seek within our smiles. kind of searching for something. We are searching for something. We're searching for stormy skies. People, they're hurrying to their houses, the fancy cars. I've clouds above me, but they're raining silver. Golden peals of thunder in my heart. Bill, you're searching for something. Sandy, searching for something. Bernard, searching for something.
God knew. Thank you, Bernard.
Yep.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. So we're up to the point where we get to get into perfect clarity. What was made clear to you? What do you want to give voice to today? If there's something that you'd like to share in front of the group, just wave your hand and let us know what came up for you today. Any clarity, Bernard?
Yeah, I just want to say that, I was in Philly last week. I came down from Massachusetts. I met with 3 of my specialists about this possible kidney transplant. And they said that in order for us to do this, we need to strengthen your heart. And I come here and I feel that strength from you. So thank you. Yeah, they said they're going to test me again in November, and they'll let me know whether or not they're going to go ahead with the surgery. But just coming here feeds my spirit. So thank you all.
Thank you, Bernard. And practitioner interns, I hope you heard that as a very clear prayer request. Very good. We got 4 of them on duty, and they're all on the call today. So
Great.
Your intention and request is heard. Very nice. Anybody else? Sandy.
So, Bernard, the music today. So, when you did the mom song, and this is actually to everybody, when you did the mom song, I got in touch with how much I loved my mom.
Good.
And if anybody here was in the women's circle with me the other day, the suffering that I have done from, the believing of the messages that I got from my mother, I'm still trying to heal those. And yet underneath that is so much love that I had for her. And I just feel like your being in the place that you are, Bernard, supported me feeling that. And I just want to say, I know I shouldn't go on, but
Please.
everybody here, being here and being present creates this environment. And that's what I love about Zoom. We're all the same size in our little squares, and every single person makes this possible. It's not Bill, and it's not Bernard, and it's not me, it's not Joe, it's all of us together create this magic. So I am so grateful. I feel so much being here, so much love.
Good, good. Bless you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's wonderful. Dina, you're up.
Oh man, I have to talk after that. I don't know. Okay.
So that's our goal, is that somebody on the platform has to work through tears every week.
Yeah. Wow. Phew. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card or PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash, all of it. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen. We'll say the affirmation together. You can unmute yourself and we'll say it together. I live
in an abundant universe.
Universe.
I
I
am
am
one
one
I
with
am
the
infinite
source of all
source
good.
of good.
I am a
I am
center.
I'm a
center of
center of conscious prosperity.
I enjoy
I enjoy the
richness
richness
of
of
life.
life.
I bless
I
I
my
bless my
gifts.
gifts.
I
Share my gifts with gratitude and joy.
joy.
I know that as I give, I do
receive.
And so it
So it is.
and so it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Bernard's got one more song for us. This is going to be a sing-along. He's going to teach us the lyrics to sing along, but we are all going to cleverly keep our microphones muted. So we're singing along in our own house rather than overtaking Bernard so we don't hear him. Beep.
Okay. All right. So basically what you guys are singing is sha la 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 bluebird music. Then it's sha la 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 bluebird songs. Sha la 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 bluebird songs. Then sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. Sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. When you hear those birds, you gotta sing along. You hear those birds, you got to sing along. Okay, so we'll just try it. If I was a bluebird, one day I would fly. I'd flap my wings, I'd fly so high, I'd vanish in the blue skies. I'd become the raindrops that gather in the clouds, and I'd rain down bluebird music on the people on the ground. People that were feeling blue would all lift up their heads, wonder at the bluebird music raining down on them. They'd start to snap their fingers, tap their feet, dance around. Anyone who was feeling bad, dance to bluebird sounds. Here we go. They sang sha la 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 bluebird music. Sha la 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 bluebird songs. Sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. Hear those birds, you got to sing along. Before I knew what was happening, bluebird songs they spread. But everyone around the world heard bluebirds in their heads. All the armies grew distracted, and they all laid down their guns. Soldiers danced on battlefields to the sound of bluebird song. They sang sha la 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 bluebird music. Sha la 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 bluebird song. Sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. New thought, you hear those birds, you got to sing along. everyone must dance to Bluebird song. Yay.
Yay, that is beautiful. And Bree and Jane love the Bluebirds. Very fun, very fun. So we will figuratively join hands. Go ahead and unmute, and we will pray ourselves out. And this is some perfect clarity that's opening itself up for us. Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I
open myself to love.
To love.
I am that light of love.
I
am
am
that
I
light
am
of
that
love.
light of love.
I let the love flow.
Let the love flow.
Flow.
I am Thermonoff,
I am
Terminal.
except when I'm not.
Except when I'm not.
And so it is.
So it is.
Oh, that was good.
Thanks, my friends. Thank you.
Bernard, I have to second what Sandy said. That song about mom was so touching because I lost my mom this past September. And I think about my mom all the time. But yesterday, Bree and I went out and we visited my mom and my dad at their gravesite.
Okay.
And the song just like helped me continue to connect with my mom and just
Yeah, Mom.
all those things she used to do for me and we used to do together. It was so nice.
Yeah. Yep. And next time I get down there, which will be next in November, when I visit the University of Pennsylvania, I am going out there. I'm going to go out to the creek in Downingtown, and yeah.
Yeah, I
Mom
mean, we were in Downingtown because we had an errand to run in Downingtown. So we stopped at the cemetery in Westchester, then we went on to Downingtown. It was really nice.
Yeah, and St. Joe's Cemetery is in Johnsontown. You know where that is?
Yep.
Yeah, it's up at the top of the hill, and I don't know. I have to put more energy into visiting grave sites. I don't feel a whole lot when I'm there. I feel my mom, differently. It's, I feel her spirit not at a graveyard, but I don't know. I see her in the woods and when I'm walking, that kind of thing. But I'm gonna do that the next time I get down there. I have to do that. So, but thanks for
Maybe it's just more of a symbolic gesture every now and then that I go and I visit. But I know what you mean.
But you guys, you look great, especially Jane. You're feeling good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I feel good.
Bless you. And Breen, you always look the same.
Good. Bad.